Yeah, you head coach Chris Wilkerson, the team 16-13 overtime victors over Charleston Southern last week in their home finale. The regular season finale is this Saturday at Tennessee Tech. So, coach, some thoughts on your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. I was really happy for our seniors just to be able to have a success in their last home football game. I was pleased with the way that our defense certainly responded with the number of short fields, especially in the fourth quarter and obviously overtime. But a lot of things that we got to make sure that we correct. Bottom line is, again, our defense was at its best when its best was needed, and we found a way to win. So, tip of the hat to Charleston Southern. Gabe did a really good job. Kids play hard, and it was a wild finish. So, no time to certainly celebrate anything at all. We're on to playing the hottest team in the league and a very well coached, very talented Tennessee Tech football team this Saturday down in Cookeville.
Thanks, coach. We'll go to some questions. I see the Barry's with us. Go ahead, Barry.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you, first of all, Pierce Holly is 4 yards away from 3,000, which puts him in a pretty lofty group in Eastern history with Peyton and Romo and Garoppolo. Well, what's impressed you about Pierce's season?
Yeah, to be honest with you, his consistency with the different moving pieces has probably been the most impressive thing to me. We've had all conference slot receiver go down, our big play outside receiver go down, another guy steps up, he goes down, another guy steps up, he goes down, starting tight end, he goes down. And it doesn't seem to matter, who we surround him with. He just continues to go through his read progressions and throw the football to the guys that are on the field and open. And he makes those that are around him better. And so that to me has been the most impressive thing. Again, we haven't done a very good job as a staff protecting him, his toughness and his resilience to be able to be sacked the number of times that he's been sacked this year and hit the number of times that he's hit and still get back up is extremely impressive to me. So I think, again, that the moving pieces and certainly his toughness.
Pierce mentioned to us a couple of weeks ago that just when new guys are coming in to the lineup, as they have when injuries have happened, he said communication is a big thing, and he wants to be on the same page with those guys. Does that speak to his maturity or his experience, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both. And I'll tell you what, he works it out pretty quickly during the week. He's constantly talking to the guys that he's working with in every single session, whether it's Skelly, whether it's routes on air, whether it's individual, whether it's walkthrough, pre-practice, post-practice, certainly during the team periods. He just continues to give feedback to all the skill guys on offense, and then they're able to work together and again, kind of get things worked out to make sure they're on the same page.
As far as protection goes, I mean, I talked to Drew Wilder Saturday, and he mentioned it's a little bit of everything: communication, assignments, recognition. How do you kind of attack that issue?
It is. We've had some guys that got physically beat. We certainly had some missed assignments. And again, it's not just the front. We've had the backs and the tight ends and the wideouts and even the quarterback a couple times. So it all contributes to the actual result, which is not where we want to be in terms of that number of sacks allowed and being able to protect our quarterback. And we're going to continue to work on it. Again, this week's going to be a huge challenge. They are active as anybody that will play up front and do a phenomenal job rushing the passer. They're the number one rush defense in the league and the number 3 rush defense in the country. And a lot of that has to do with they do stop the run on early downs, but they do get a lot of minus yardage plays because they sack the quarterback so frequently. So we've got our hands full, but we're going to work really hard to get ready for this Saturday.
Defensively, as you mentioned, your group kind of met challenge after challenge after challenge on Saturday. Is that the performance you've kind of been waiting for from this group?
Yeah, I was pleased to see the guys step up. And, the essence of defense really is tackling and pursuit. And, we tackled better and we pursued the football better. I think we limited a little bit what we were doing very purposefully because of what Charleston Southern did offensively. And that may have allowed our guys to play just a little more free. We had another one of the guys, Nick Coates, that was back for a game, and he certainly made a difference. And the guys did play really well, but Nick won't play this weekend, and we'll have to have somebody else step up, and we'll just continue to try to improve and again be at our best when our best is required.
Tech is coming off a win that obviously opened some eyes nationally. When you look at them, what stands out about what they do?
A lot. They're very well coached. They're again the hottest team in the league. They've won 4 games in a row. Bobby's done a great job there. Certainly, offensively, it really starts with their offensive line and tight ends. They're physical. They're very well coached. They get a body on a body. Everything they do in the running game that they're very efficient with puts the ball on the worst tacklers in the defense, which is typically the corners. So they're going to try to crack and pin, and they're going to make sure that they get the ball onto the guys that they think are the least tacklers. The wideouts do a really good job understanding space, catching every football. They're very efficient. The quarterbacks have been good, and certainly the Wildcat look gives them a little bit of different look with Yates in there. So they're very well coached. They're very efficient. They're playing very good complementary football on offense. And defensively, again, their front four ferocious. They rotate 10 guys through there. They're physical, twitchy. They rush the passer. They know exactly what they're doing schematically. The inside linebackers are phenomenal college football players. Those guys run and hit and tackle. Their secondary really does a good job covering, making plays. Like I said earlier, the number one rush defense in the country, or excuse me, in the conference, and number 3 in the country. And, they got 31 sacks and 22 takeaways with their defense. That gives the offense a lot of short fields. And then the final part of this puzzle for them is they're phenomenal in the kicking game. A great job with the returns, great job blocking kicks, and we have not been very good on special teams this year. So again, we're going to have our hands full against a very well coached and very talented football team this Saturday.
Coach, the last thing I had for you is I wanted to talk about recruiting a little bit, and obviously that goes on throughout the year for you, but after Saturday, how quickly does that turn around, and how quickly does you and your staff kind of put your recruiting hats on for the next 30 days or so?
Well, the recruiting hats never come off. It's 365 days a year, but yes, certainly when we get back, we have meetings with a handful of players on Sunday and Monday, and then our players are off for Thanksgiving. And then when they come back from Thanksgiving, we will certainly talk to them about all the different opportunities that every single student athlete has to make a decision about. And, that'll start when the window opens, and we want to make sure that we educate them on what that looks like and what their options and opportunities are. And then we'll obviously sit down with every single individual player in our program, with their position coach, their coordinator, the head football coach, and the strength conditioning staff during that week, before they get done with finals and head out for Christmas. So again, communication is of the utmost importance. You want to make sure that your players understand exactly where you see them. You want to make sure that they understand where we see them going forward, and make sure that you show a plan for each one of them. But it never stops, and we'll be very active during that time period.
Great. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks a million.
Close with this, Coach, and I think I asked you a week or two ago about it. We could have 4 teams share the championship this year. Just what's that meant for, like, maybe the steps the conference has made, and it's sort of being a little more top heavy this year, and just nationally the perception of the conference?
Yeah. I've said it from the beginning. This is an extremely well-coached league, very talented league. Every single week, you better bring your best, or you're going to end up on the short end of the scoreboard. And, it's a credit to those coaches and their players and their staffs that have put themselves in this position. But yeah, I'm very aware that Tech doesn't control their own destiny, but obviously if Martin holds serve on Saturday and Tennessee State were to beat SEMO and Tech does beat us, you're looking at a 4-way tie. So I'm very aware that they're going to be competing for what they think, as far as what they can control, is a share of a conference championship. But it's a very balanced league. It's very talented. Obviously 3 teams in the top 25 this week, or at least getting votes. I know people have talked differently about schedules and so on and so forth, but I think all that stuff works itself out and the cream rises to the top. And hey, those 4 teams have been the top of the league this year. And I am very hopeful that we will get multiple teams into the NCAA playoff championships.
Perfect, Coach. Appreciate the time, as always, all season long, and best of luck to your team this weekend.
Thanks a million, Kyle. Go Panthers.